for joining us today. While this session is being conducted primarily in English, attendees do have the ability to turn on a live auto captioning service, and we also have a Spanish speaking support available. So we have our communications officer, Alberto Garrido, and he's on live to answer any Spanish language questions in the Q&A or the chat functions. Alberto, can you say a few words to our primary Spanish speaking participants this morning?
Absolutely. Thank you, Carla. Y bienvenidos a todos a esta sesión de hoy sobre cómo navegar por los departamentos estatales de New Jersey. Esta sesión se va a llevar a cabo en inglés. Sin embargo, yo voy a estar disponible para responder sus preguntas en español. Solamente tienen que utilizar la función de Q&A, de preguntas y respuestas, cuando haga su pregunta, y vamos a estar monitoreándolo para poder asistirle prontamente. Entonces, muchas gracias. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Alberto. I'm going to start us off today by telling you a little bit about EDA and then give you all the information about what programs we currently have. Then I'll pass the mic off to Anthony Martinez from the Business Action Center. Now, EDA is New Jersey's principal agency focused on driving economic growth in alignment with Governor Phil Murphy's vision for a stronger, fairer New Jersey. EDA grows the state's economy and increases equitable access to opportunity by supporting high-quality job creation, catalyzing investment, and fostering vibrant and inclusive community development. And to achieve these goals, we work in partnership with a diverse range of stakeholders to implement programs and initiatives that improve quality of life, enhance economic vitality, and strengthen New Jersey's long-term economic competitiveness. Now, over the past 18 months, EDA's top priority has been supporting businesses and communities that have been impacted by COVID-19. Small businesses are vital assets that make New Jersey communities unique, vibrant, and places to live and work, and helping them overcome the difficulties associated with COVID-19 is essential to achieving Governor Murphy's vision of a stronger, fairer recovery. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, EDA has placed a central role in supporting communities across the state. And as they face the challenges associated with the pandemic and lay the foundation for a stronger, fairer recovery, the authority has focused particularly on supporting urban communities and small businesses, which have been hit especially hard by the pandemic. Now, what we've had over the last 18 months and the relief packages have included Small Business Emergency Assistance Grant Program, Small Business Emergency Assistance Loan Programs, 2 phases of that, Sustain and Serve, phases 1 and 2, Small and Micro Businesses, PPE Access Programs, programs to mobilize capital to micro, small, and medium-sized businesses, entrepreneur support programs, technical assistance, and community stage relief programs, just to name a few. Now, one of the various ERA programs I'm going to focus on today is the Main Street Recovery Program. And the Main Street Recovery Program will provide financial boosts to businesses and nonprofits need to reopen and prepare for a long-term success in the aftermath of COVID-19. Now, this $100 million program will fund multiple financial assistance products aimed at supporting the growth and the success of New Jersey small businesses. And these products are going to include grants for small businesses and nonprofits, loans to micro businesses, and resources for lenders that serve micro businesses and other historically disadvantaged communities. Now, the first 2 products created under the Main Street Recovery Program are the Small Business Lease Grant and the Small Business Improvement Grant. And these products are aimed at revitalizing downtowns by helping businesses lease street-level space or make investments in improving their facade or space. Now, the lease grant launched on October 20th and is now accepting applications, and the improvement grant has not yet launched, and we hope to have that done by the end of this month. Now, in regards to the small lease program, it's a $10 million program that will provide 2 grants of up to 20% of annual lease payments to businesses and nonprofits entering into a new or amended lease. The first grant will be paid to entities immediately after they are approved for the program and execute the grant agreement. And then the second grant will be paid after the first year of the lease. In order to qualify for the Small Business Lease Grant, businesses and nonprofits must enter a new lease, lease amendment, or lease extension that includes at least 250 square feet of street level office, commercial, or retail additional space. Applicants must commit to remaining in the lease space for at least 5 years to qualify. And we'll have more information in our chat that has the link directly to that program. Now, commercial businesses and nonprofits are eligible to apply as long as they meet SBA's definition of a small business determined by their NAICS code. The applicant will need to provide a current tax clearance certificate, for which we have instructions on obtaining one on our website. Applicants must also be in good standing with the Department of Labor and Department of Environmental Protection. Applicants must certify at time of application that they will pay wages that are greater of $15 an hour or 120% of minimum wage rate, and that they'll remain in the facility for 5 years, as I said before. Now, the lease and space lease must follow the eligibility requirements that I'm going to go over. That is 250 to 10,000 square feet of office, commercial, or retail space with a minimum of a 5-year term. Only the first 10,000 feet of a larger lease is eligible for the grant, meaning if it's more than 10,000 feet, that is okay. We will do the grant based on the first 10,000 square feet. It must be a new lease or amendment or extension of an existing lease. New or amended space must be at least 250 square feet or larger. It must include a first floor, meaning street level space. It must be market rate based on a commercial real estate information available at that time. And the lease cannot have been executed more than 12 months prior to the date of the application. Now, here are some very important exclusions. Applicants cannot terminate an existing lease and enter into new lease for the same or less square footage in order to pursue this grant. Businesses operating under an existing Small Business Lease Assistance Program grant agreement are not eligible to apply, but may opt out of their existing grant agreement to pursue this grant. Grantees that default on lease payments or leave the space during their grant term are no longer eligible for the incentive and must repay any funding that they receive from NJEDA. High-tech and business incubator members in non-for-profit facilities are not eligible for independent lease incentives. However, the operators of the incubators are eligible. Landlords cannot have ownership interest in the tenant. And the tenant would need to get certification from the landlord that they are current on all lease payments. Now, in regards to our Small Business Improvement Grant, it's a $15 million program that will provide grants up to $50,000 to businesses and nonprofits for a portion of costs associated with the facade and facility improvement and the purchase or installation of furniture, fixtures, and equipment. The project has to be completed and paid for prior to applying. Grants are available for projects that were completed anytime since March 9th, 2020, and with the total cost of at least $5,000 or more. Businesses and nonprofits that receive grants less than $25,000 must commit to remaining in that space that they are investing for at least 2 years. Now, grant recipients who receive $25,000 or more must stay in the space for at least 4 years. Now, projects that have total costs greater than $50,000 are required to adhere to green building standards for mechanical and lighting improvements. And we will have this more information and the link in the chat available for you to see. Now, to be eligible for the Small Business Improvement Grant, the applicants must meet the following criteria. And that is meet SBA definition of a small business based on the NAICS code, rent or own and operate from the facility as a commercial business. We will need a tax clearance certificate. We will need you to certify at time of application that you are not in default of any other EDA or state assistance, and certify at the time of application that you're willing to pay that the greater of $15 an hour or 120% of the minimum wage rate. Now, in order to be eligible for reimbursement, the project must be completed prior to the application. Home-based businesses are eligible, but only for the purchase and or installation of furniture, fixtures, and equipment. All work must be completed within 2 years of the application date, but not before March 9th, 2020. We'll accept invoices, statements, and or cancel checks to be provided to us as proof of payment for the work that has been done. In its entirety, the requirements for the Main Street Recovery Program are wage requirements, green building standards, meaning for the Small Business Improvement Grant projects with total cost of over $50,000 must adhere to green building standards. For the purpose of the improvement, this is applicable to mechanical and lighting improvements only. Affirmative action and commitments under each grant subject to businesses repaying the grant for non-compliance. And for the Small Business Grant, you must commit to remaining in the facility for 5 years. We can't iterate that enough. And for the Small Business Improvement Grant, for grants less than $25,000, the business must commit to remaining in the facility for at least 2 years. And for grants of $25,000 or more, you must commit to being in the building for 4 years at least. And that is everything that we have for you today in regards to our small business services. Those are the 2 grants that we have. And I know I covered a lot, so I'm happy to answer questions. And I'm now going to pass it over to my good friend, Mr. Anthony Martinez.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Martinez, and I'm a small business advocate for the New Jersey Business Action Center within the Department of State. And within the New Jersey Business Action Center, there's 3 state offices dedicated to assist small businesses. The first office is the Office of Business Advocacy. The Office of Business Advocacy provides site assistance. So if you're a new business looking for a location in New Jersey, that office can assist you with that. Or if you're an existing business looking to relocate within the state, we can assist with that as well. Also, we can help with projects, an example, building a building, and helping businesses navigate those all the government issues and regulatory processes with regards to that. The second office is the Office of Small Business Advocacy, which is the office that I work for. And this Office of Small Business Advocacy offers a variety of resources tailored to meet the needs, including mentoring, financial resources, licensing and professional certifications, procurement assistance, and again, navigating regulatory processes. And our third office within the BAC is the Office of Export Promotion. So the Office of Export Promotion works with New Jersey small and mid-sized companies interested in expanding their products and services through export. Companies interested in global business activity can tap into a number of resources like creating an export plan, guidance in identifying global export markets, guiding you through foreign custom procedures, and the availability of the New Jersey State Trade Expansion Program, the STEP grant. Now that STEP grant is available to businesses that are looking to export businesses. And it can help with some things like helping those businesses attend international trade shows, website translations, or translating their marketing materials. One of the things I want us to say too is that we are the connector with our state agencies, our sister state agencies. Treasury is represented today, Taxation is represented today, the Small Business Development Center. We also connect small and medium-sized businesses with the Division of Revenue and Enterprise Services, the Department of Labor, and the New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs. So whatever your issue may be, we are the go-to agency to assist you. So if you have Treasury issues, if you have taxation issues, if you're forming and registering your business, if you need doors, if you have labor issues, if you have licensing issues, we're the connector. Again, we're the connector, we're the conduit. I just want to ask you all to please visit these important websites. The New Jersey Business Action Center website is posted. Our new business website, business.nj.gov, is the live chat where you can chat with me live. You can even ask to speak with me or Don Newman or one of our other small business advocates or experts. The business helpline is there as well, 1-800-JERSEY-7. You can speak live with someone. You can chat with us live, or you can speak with us on the phone live. Our COVID-19 business website is there, and there also you'll find my contact information. Another thing that I wanted to add is que hablamos en español también, so we speak Spanish too. So there are Spanish-speaking representatives to assist the Spanish-speaking people as well, okay? One last thing I want to add is that advocate translated into Spanish is defensor, and I translated it as apoyar, which means support. So we are your defenders and your support. So we defend you and we support you, and that's what we do here at the New Jersey Business Action Center.
Now we're going to pass it over to Solange, and she is going to come on with her colleagues and share some information with us.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Solange Pimentel. I am with the New Jersey Division of Taxation. I started my career with the Division of Taxation about 15 or 16 years ago. We are called Taxation University because we are basically the educators of the Division of Taxation. We do a lot of internal education to our existing and new employees, as well as the public. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we do, how to register, why it's important to register, and we're going to provide you with some helpful resources, okay? So what we do, as I mentioned to you guys before, we're called the university because we do teach or train our existing and new hires, but we also provide free business tax workshops to the public. Our most common workshops that we provide, go ahead and conduct, is registering a business in New Jersey, reporting business income in New Jersey, understanding sales and use tax, online businesses and New Jersey sales tax. And we do also provide or conduct presentations upon request when it comes to any industry specific presentation. So we have done in the past, we've done presentations to contractors, also to restaurant owners when it comes to the food industry. I know that's a big industry. So we do also provide industry specific presentations upon request. We also do tax updates and community outreach. We speak to our CPAs, our tax professionals, our AARP, our VITA volunteers. We train them on any tax updates. So our busy season usually is at the beginning of the tax year, January, February, first quarter of the tax year, when we provide all these tax updates. And we provide general public information on property tax relief programs. 2 programs administered by us, by the state of New Jersey Division of Taxation. So these are the things that we do. And we are very passionate about providing this information to small business owners, entrepreneurs, because we do want you guys to be successful from the beginning of your business endeavors. So those are the things that we do. Now, one of the frequent issues that we've seen when conducting these business workshops, specifically business registration, is that most businesses are not properly registered. So I'll quickly go over a simple 3-step process just to ensure that your business is properly registered. And obviously, I'll go ahead and touch on the importance of why you should be properly registered. So with business entities, business entities, that includes our limited liability companies, limited liability partnerships, limited partnerships, corporations, and small corporations or S-corps. And I don't have, because time's sake, I don't have enough time to go over specifically the description of each business entity, but there's going to be our handout posted in the chat box that will give a brief description of each of these business entity types. So essentially, there's a three-step process. First step is you would create and name the business entity. Essentially, you're forming your business at this first step level. You're forming your business and you're reserving that name, that business name, on a statewide level. And you will pay a flat fee of $125 for profit or $75 for nonprofit. Now, essentially what you're doing with this first step is you're just forming the business, okay? You're forming your business and you're reserving that name. So you would have to look up to see if that name, whatever you want to name your business, is available. And if it is, you're going to reserve that name on a state level. So in New Jersey, wherever your business is located, no one else can have that name but your business because you're reserving it on a state level. The second step is you would obtain an FEIN, a Federal Employer Identification Number. You would go on their IRS website, irs.gov. It takes a couple of minutes. It's free of charge. All business entities are required to obtain this FEIN number. You would obtain that FEIN number. And then last but not least, the third step is you would complete the New Jersey registration form. Okay, that's the form NJReg. It is extremely important to complete all three steps in order for you to be properly registered in New Jersey. If you just stop at step number one, all you did was just reserve your name, your business name, and form your business, okay? And after a certain period of time, if there's no activity in your business, guess what? That name is released back to the public, and you would have to start over and try to see if that name is again available. So don't stop at step one. Step two, you're only obtaining your FEIN number. You obtain your FEIN number, excuse me, and that's equivalent to having your social security number for your business. All right, you have to obtain that obviously for your business. And again, you cannot stop at that step because step number three is extremely or equally important as all the other steps. You would have to complete your NJ registration form, which will tell us, New Jersey, that you're properly registered, and you would, in that form, it would tell us what you will be doing, who you are, etc. So those are the steps in order for you to be properly registered. Again, I mentioned that in the chat box, we will include our business registration handout, which is extremely resourceful for you guys to just refer to it and see a brief description of each of these business entities. So those are the three simple steps for registering a business entity. Now, as far as individual structures is concerned, we have our sole proprietors and partnerships. Okay, with our sole proprietors and partnerships, these steps are not necessarily required. They are optional, but we do highly encourage for individual structures to go ahead and obtain an FEIN. So the first step is similar to the first step with the business entities. You will register your trade name on the county clerk. And we go to your local county clerk, you would pay $50, flat fee of $50, and you will register your trade name. This is optional, right? If you're a sole proprietor and just conducting business out of your home and say you're, knitting scarves, you don't necessarily, or you don't want to register your trade name, that's fine. But if you now start, distributing business cards and you have a business name there, you would want to reserve it on a county level. So if you're in Mercer County, for example, and you have a knitting business, you're knitting scarves, you would want to reserve that trade name on a county level. It only reserves it in Mercer County. Now, if you start getting big and your scarves, they don't fit no longer in your home, and you want to open up a storefront, not just in Mercer County, but now you want to go to a different county, you would have to go to that local county clerk and pay the $50 and register your trade name with that county as well. So with individual structures, the reserving the trade name is county level only, okay? Again, this is optional. Number two, you would obtain the Federal Employer ID number. It is highly encouraged. It is not a requirement, but you don't want your social security number on any business documents, etc. So you would want to go ahead, as I mentioned to you before, it is free of charge. It only takes a couple of minutes. Go on the IRS website and obtain your FEIN number. And third and last step, right? Third and last step, you would complete the form NJReg, New Jersey registration form. Guys, without this form, we don't know you exist. We don't know who you are, what you do. if you're going to be collecting sales tax, if you're going to have employees, etc. So all 3 steps must be completed so that you can be considered properly registered, like a legitimate business, okay? So just a brief recap, right? Entity structures, create and name the entity on a statewide level, your name is reserved, you obtain an FEIN number, and you complete the New Jersey registration form. Individual structures, you register your trade name on a county level. Second step, you obtain your FEIN number through the IRS website. And the third step, you complete the form NJreg. Okay? Hopefully that was simplified enough for you guys because this is extremely important. And I'll tell you why. Why is it important to register? Well, number one, Carla mentioned it, right? You guys were looking at that, the slides and say, "Ooh, look at that grant. 500,000, or I'm not sure how much was it, but in order to obtain funding, guys, you would need to provide a tax clearance. And in order to obtain a tax clearance, you have to be properly registered. Your business has to be properly registered. A tax clearance is essentially a tool that verifies that you're tax compliant. And in order to know that, we need to know what you do, who you are. So you need to be properly registered in New Jersey to essentially obtain funding, any grants, any loans you need for your business. You need to be properly registered because you would need to provide that tax clearance so that you can obtain this funding. Then the next thing is bidding on contracts. If you're bidding on state contracts or government contracts, et cetera, you would need to have a business registration certificate. Again, you would need to be properly registered for that business registration certificate to be issued to you as a business. And therefore, then you can go ahead and bid on state or government contracts. And the last thing is, in order to use our legal system, okay, the court system as well. If a client sues you for whatever reason, you don't want that obviously, but if a client sues you for whatever reason, you need to be properly registered in order to use our legal system. You need to be a legitimate business to use our legal court system, etc. So these are the main factors as to why your business needs to be properly registered. I can't emphasize that enough, Simon, and we do try our best to simplify this process for you guys because we know how overwhelming it can be to start a business and all the different factors that it entails. So we try to simplify that in that 3 simple registration steps. Okay. So these are some resources for you to have. We do highly encourage you guys to subscribe to our tax ENews. It's really easy to just go ahead on our website, NJ.gov/taxation. You can go on our website. Right here, just click on news and then subscribe to our email list. We do not sell your email addresses to anyone, so you're safe. You can go ahead and subscribe to our email, our New Jersey Tax ENews, and we do provide, or you're going to receive notifications for new information regarding any taxes or programs that we administer. So it's easy to use, just subscribe. It takes a couple of minutes, again, free of charge, of course, and we don't sell your emails to anyone else. And you will be up to date with any updates, any tax laws, changes, any programs that we administer, etc. So we highly encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. This is a great resource for you guys. We also have our new website, which is nj.gov/taxation. And this is our email address. You guys can jot this down, but we will also post it on the chat box for you guys. You can always email us with any questions or concerns you may have with any tax related questions. It doesn't just have to be about your business. It can be on your personal, on your personal income taxes as well. So we're here to help. We want you to be successful. We are so grateful that you are here joining us today. This is a fantastic platform for you guys to get on the right foot. So thanks again, Carla, so much for allowing us to be here. And one last thing, we do have a social media presence. Thank God, we're finally in the 21st century. So we have a social media presence. We are on Facebook, Twitter, we are on Instagram, etc. So please visit us, like us, love us. We're on the lookout for anyone who's reaching out to us through social media. So please visit us and like us on our social media platform. And thank you again so much for joining us. We hope this was helpful.
Thank you, Solange. That was excellent. I do like and follow and love. So
thank you
so much. Thank you for that presentation. That was excellent. Next, without further ado, we have Mr. John Cronin from Treasury. John, please join us.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I work for the Department of Treasury in the Office of Division of Revenue and Enterprise Services. Area is responsible for, my work area, I should say, is responsible for women and minority certification, applications, small business enterprise applications, and we have 2 veteran designations called veteran-owned business application and disabled veteran-owned business applications. Now, the reason you would want to pursue this, all these applications, whichever you choose, is that they're very helpful in getting procurement, getting work in your door, be it contracts or there's set-asides. That word means that there's carve-outs for procurement. In other words, if a contract has a designation or a percentage allocated for veteran-owned business, disabled veteran-owned business, small business, it would be helpful for you to get our designation or certificate for pursuing that. It makes it easier to get contracts, in other words. So I'll start with, this is our service, and it's very, very simple. We have we're really proud of our 21st century website, which will enable you to go online and get these designations. Now, there's a website bringing you here, and this is the doorstep of our certification service online. And if you could bring up the website itself, you have that. It's actually at the top of your screen. If you see www.njportal.com DOR/SBE registry. That's how you find this. And before you go here, I wanted to talk a little bit about the eligibility requirements for each of our designations. The small business enterprise, SBE, has a 25% set aside for state contracts. Now, to be eligible for this, you must have your principal place of business in New Jersey. That's defined by 2 tests that we perform, and you only have to pass one of the tests. The first test is the revenue test, and we ask you if in the application, if at least 51% of the company's gross revenue is earned in New Jersey, and that can be verified by us through your New Jersey business tax returns and the allocation factor. The second test is the employee test, and the employee test is we ask if 51% minimum or plus full-time employees are working in New Jersey and paying taxes here, employment taxes. And our verification for that would be we'd ask to see the unemployment report, the WR30 we call it, that your employer submits to the Department of Labor. So you only have to pass one of the tests, and that's the first rule. The second rule is you have to have 100 or less employees, 100 or less employees. So, and then the third test would be a revenue test based on the NAICS code. In other words, if you're a goods and services company, we'd want to see you have less than 12 million per year in gross revenue, or if the SBA, in its definition of a small business, will, through your NAICS code, allows you to be approved by them with their standards of being a small business. So that can exceed 12 million in some instances. For construction companies, again, we defer to the SBA, federal SBA guidelines for what the federal SBA defines as a small business. So that's the SBE. The second program is the Women and Minority Business. Women-owned business would be a female person owning 51% plus of the ownership, be it the shares, or if it's an LLC or a sole proprietor, it would be the ownership. The female owner of 51% plus has to own, operate, and control the company. So that means that she just doesn't have ownership, but she has to run the company. She has to be the ultimate authority. You have to be registered to do business in New Jersey to go on the site and to get approved. We have no prohibition about out-of-state companies going forward. We have MBE and the veteran designations. MBE, the qualifications, the categories for minority are typically Black, Latino, Pacific countries, and Indian subcontinent countries, which would be Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and those are listed on our website as well. The veteran designations, veteran-owned business, you have to have submit, and again, the site tells you everything. It's a beautiful site, very user-friendly. For the veteran-owned business, you have to be a New Jersey resident, the veteran, 51% minimum as a veteran. You have to submit your DD-214, which is the federal release document from the military service, and the disabled veteran-owned business, which has a 3% set aside, has a you must submit the award letter from the VA, which is the establishment that the federal government, Veterans Administration, Department of Veterans Affairs, I should say, recognize you as a disabled veteran. You have to also have New Jersey residency for the veteran. Okay, so I think I've covered it all very briefly. But
thank you so much, John. We appreciate that. And you can go ahead and mute yourself, and we will move on to Miss Marcella. Marcella, in the last couple of minutes that we have, can you please give us a little bit more information about what you do and what they have to offer our participants?
Thank you, Carla.
You're welcome.
Hello, everybody. I'm here representing the New Jersey Small Business Development Centers. We are one of the best kept secret in the state of New Jersey because we have the ability to help small businesses, whether they are starting, they're conceptualizing an idea, they have a problem, they already have grown, they're ready to scale, and we can actually have over 100 counselors. We are in 12 different centers in the state of New Jersey, no matter where you are, to help you navigate, counsel, and provide guidance and endorse the resources that have been provided to you today. I wear multiple hats, so many of you may recognize me from working with other not-for-profits or my own business. I make myself available as one of the lead consultants of the New Jersey Small Business Development Centers. There's not a lot of time, but I can tell you, I personally speak 5 languages. Lo puedo ayudar en español, en francés, aus Deutsch, italiano, portugués. So we are resourceful in being able to help you in all kinds of activities. I'm going to share very quickly my screen because I want to show you that the link that is being posted on the chat, you can go to njsbdc.com. Under njsbdc.com, you can have support in our portal for new businesses, with a growing business, counseling, no matter in what county you are, and we can help you navigate with any pickles or create open bridges with any other entities. On December 10th, we're having our annual Small Business Growth and Success Luncheon. If anybody's interested, you can apply, you can go by going to njsbdc.com/success. And if you come to this luncheon, you would see how many businesses that have been helped have been able to grow and go into the role in the Roll of Fame for having been able to succeed in growing their businesses. My information is there in the chat. I give my cell phone number. I make myself available. If you want to have a consultation with anybody in the state of New Jersey, you can go into this portal that I just showed you, and you can actually access the county that you are, and somebody from that county will help you. We have the support of many universities that are backing us. The headquarters is at Rutgers University, and I belong to some regional centers, but also to the Capital team. And the Capital team in New Jersey is a center where we have specialized consultants. I'm one of them, where we are able to do some further assistance that other centers may not have the bandwidth to do that. So from cradle to growth and maturity of your business, we have the ability to really help you thrive and be able to, whether starting a business, grow your business, or exit your business with success through the NJSBDC. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcella. Thank you. That was awesome information. You know, a lot of the questions have been answered in the chat, so we will take the next 10 minutes to go ahead and answer any additional questions that you might have for our panelists.
There was a question in the chat. An attendee wanted to know if they could be eligible for the MBE certification, not being a citizen. That's a question for John Cronin. John, can you answer that question?
Yes, we don't ask about immigration status on our application, so that would be a non-issue. If they're here and they want to apply. And by the way, I failed to mention, the application is $0. It's no fee, application fee to apply for any of these that are in my area.
Thank you,
John, if I could, oh, sorry, Carla. John, if I can jump in on that. There was also a question about the MWBE certification for a business who hasn't been in business for 3 years. Can they get that certification without 3 years of federal and local tax returns?
Yeah, that somehow comes up we waive that requirement if the IRS has not required you to file tax returns. And in the case of a newly formed business, for example, a business that was formed a few months ago, we would waive that requirement. That's common sense. So, and they can have zero revenue as well.
So a business that's, let's say, that's 4 months old but wants to apply can apply?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What about nonprofits?
Nonprofits cannot apply for any of our designations. And the reason for that is that both the small business and the minority and the veteran designations have no owner. And we require ownership to be focused on for these designations. So nonprofits are excluded, even though a minority person will be running the company, we look at ownership, and therefore that's one of the questions on the first slide when they go into the application. Are you a nonprofit? And if you say yes, it will stop you right there.
It's so interesting because all the resources that have been provided today, they have the ability to register a business. We at the Small Business Development Centers, we have the ability to guide you, walk you through hand by hand to be able to do all of that. So I strongly suggest that participants that do need to register a business, you can log into that website that I gave you and select close to your county where you are to select a counselor. Now, if the center is overwhelmed and don't have the ability to help you, we at headquarters have the ability to help all the 12 centers that we have. So by being able to contact, you can contact me, and I'm putting in my email also in the chat. I am just one of 100 people that is able to have this and the ability to do that. Now, why do we have the ability to do such a good job for all of you? It's because I may not know everything that happens in the state of New Jersey, but the wealth of knowledge that is over 100 counselors has the ability to do that. I personally own a business that does bookkeeping and financial services for small businesses. And because of that, most of my clients are in New Jersey. I have the ability to have the know-how to walk through the whole system and the process in how to, not just to register, but when you get into situations that won't help you grow or scale. And also, as the COVID and the pandemic brought the worst out of the world, but it also brought incredible things in the state of New Jersey, where all of my colleagues have been able to get funding and support and the ability to make New Jersey thrive, which is the hashtag of New Jersey Small Business Development Centers. New Jersey thrives because we do thrive in trying to help everybody. So what happens is constantly there's new funding opportunities and different abilities to help in that area. For example, right now, and because I only had 2 minutes to talk, but I can tell you another resource that has not been mentioned. The Teachers Association is putting together like a whole packet of grants between $30,000 and $120,000 to give to companies in New Jersey that are trying to start or grow the childcare facilities. And there's, so constantly we are like being bombarded with new wealth of information and ways that can help other businesses thrive.
We do have a couple folks on the attendee side that have some questions. So I am going to let Lewis, if you can unmute, you should be able to unmute yourself now and go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, hi. In reference to the certifications, I have had tons of issues with it. They have denied my application multiple times because there's nobody to talk to. I moved from Texas 2 to 3 years ago, just before the pandemic. So I will not have those taxes. However, I do run a female-owned minority business, and I just need to know the simple way of getting those certifications.
I just wanna, is your name, right? I just wanna reiterate, the New Jersey Small Business Development Center has the ability to walk you through hand by hand, and we are in connections, and if our colleagues don't have the ability to take a phone call, or there's not a way, anybody at the New Jersey Small Business Development Center has the ability to help you and solve those problems or questions. For example, right now I'm helping a company that it's building. It's a woman-owned business that it's building a driving school for illegal immigrants, because in the state of New Jersey, you're allowed to have driver's license if you are illegal. And so we are not restricted by the ability of help. So whether you came from Texas and you're struggling with what happened to you, we have the ability to find a solution by finding a way to work with you and help you build bridges, whether it's with the state, with the federal government, or building relationships with other not-for-profits or other organizations that can help you thrive with your business. And I know this is not for you, but I do want to say, si usted habla español, nosotros tenemos la habilidad y podemos ayudarle de cualquier forma a poder superar sus problemas a nivel de crecer su negocio. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
We do have 2 more quick questions, hopefully, from folks that are attending. I'm going to allow, and I apologize for mispronouncing your name, Nithmanuel Levy. Go ahead, you should be able to unmute yourself and talk, and please correct me with how I said your name.
That's fine. Thank you very much for allowing me to ask this question. And I know my name is a tongue twister. It's an Arabic-based name, so it's a tongue twister for many people. My name is Ni'matullah, so it's a bit difficult name to pronounce. My question is for Mr. John. I have been, myself and my wife, we have registered a company, and we are very early days. Like, I mean, during the COVID, we have registered a company. It's about little earlier than the COVID. We applied for the certification, and we got submitted the documentation, and they requested additional documentation. I have submitted, and I could not contact the people, and I have sent the documentation under the registered mail, certified mail, and I uploaded the documentation. But until now, I did not get any of the, my certification is not handled, and I didn't receive any response. I don't know what's happening there. To whom we could not even communicate to the people, because I know there were a couple of calls came to me and I could not return to them. I sent email, no response, and I sent the documentation. It's very difficult to get this certification done. And I want to know, where and how we can get this resolved.
Okay, let me answer you, sir. Thank you for asking that question. We're very good, I believe, in processing applications. Now, we take them in the order in which they come in, both a paper application format and the online service. We respond to every application. Now, we respond by email. We're encouraging paper applicants to go online. It's much more efficient, and we don't lose anybody in the cracks. You implicated that may have happened to you in your application. So I'll take your information and research your case. I'll be happy to do that. Was an additional information request sent to you? And again, the New Jersey SBDC will sit down with you and examine your paperwork and be helpful. They're great people. They're our partners, and that's how I request you handle this issue. They will follow up with me in my office, and we'll get you a good answer. Marcella will, she's on the phone, she's on the line right now. That's the way we'd like to have you taken care of and resolved for this issue.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I will work with the SBDC, and I will try to get this to them and get this result. My second question will be, I have a question. I'm not sure who is going to answer this. Public work license, if you want to apply for a new company, what is the procedure? And I have applied for it, and they said you need to have apprentice labor recruited, and you should have the apprentice in recruited for the from the labor department. Now, for me to start working, I need to have a license, public work license. It's like an egg or the chicken came first. Without that license, I will not be able to start working in a public project, and I will not be able to get any apprentice.
Are you in construction, sir?
I do. Yes, I am.
Okay. There's a department, a part of Treasury that handles that, and maybe I can have Anthony jump in here. And DPMC, it seems to be the hang up for him and his company.
What is his issue?
He's saying that the performance of the work, he probably wants to go on a state a work site like the Turnpike Authority or the Garden State Parkway, and DPMC, as you know, requires a clearance and an application to do that.
As Mars said, she is available, Small Business Development Center is available for one-on-one mentorship to our businesses. So they can take those questions, they can take your situations and point you in the right direction. And as she said, there's a lot of them there to help. So we'll take this last question and we'll close out to be fair to everyone's time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this event and organizing it. Information has been great. I am in Pennsylvania, right, Easton, close to Phillipsburg. So I am an insurance agent. I'm the only, insurance broker. And I am also, my home license hangs in Pennsylvania, but I also get New Jersey clients. So I'm licensed in both states. I wanted to know what are the conditions to qualify for these programs in the state of New Jersey, being that my home license hangs in Pennsylvania.
Are you speaking in regards to like your registration, or I know for our programs, your business does have to be registered in New Jersey. I'm not sure for
I have an answer for that. And Alexa, it's so funny. I wrote on the chat. I'm an actuary, so I understand insurance very well, and I live in Phillipsburg, but that's private. But you can, for example, I am a business registered in New Jersey because in addition of being a consultant for the SBDC, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I have a coffee business, and the coffee business is an LLC with partners in Florida. But even though I was in Florida, to be able to work for the SBDC, I had to be a business in New Jersey. So I had to register as a foreign company in the state of New Jersey, and eventually I preferred being in the state of New Jersey because it's a great state. It has great resources, and NJEDA is amazing of what you all do, and great colleagues in the Treasury and everywhere else. So eventually I became New Jersey, and I'm not a foreign company anymore. But you have resources that can navigate, and those intricacies those difficulties of things. That's why we have experts that some of them are generic in the NJSBDC, but then we have on the capital team. On the capital team, we even are able to close on loans that are $1 million loans and things of that nature. We have the ability to have very simple things answered and very complicated things. And because we take a team approach in this entire state, the new director, Kelly, who has like broadened the ability of how we work in the state of New Jersey and creating this amazing relationships with all the regional directors and everything that happens in the state of New Jersey. It's kind of this team approach that if something cannot be done by someone else will be there to help you.
So we all know that we have friends that are business owners. You've received some very, very valuable information this morning. I hope that it has been helpful, and please share it.
You should be able to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. Thank you for this event and organizing it. Information has been great. I am in Pennsylvania, right, Easton, close to Phillipsburg. So I am an insurance agent. I'm the only, insurance broker. And I am also, my home license hangs in Pennsylvania, but I also get New Jersey clients. So I'm licensed in both states. I wanted to know what are the conditions to qualify for these programs in the state of New Jersey, being that my home license hangs in Pennsylvania.
So are you speaking in regards to like your registration, or I know for our programs, your business does have to be registered in New Jersey. I'm not sure for
I have an answer for that. And Alexa, it's so funny. I wrote on the chat. I'm an actuary, so I understand insurance very well, and I live in Phillipsburg, but that's private. But you can, for example, I am a business registered in New Jersey because in addition of being a consultant for the SBDC, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I have a coffee business. And the coffee business is an LLC with partners in Florida. But even though I was in Florida, to be able to work for the SBDC, I had to be a business in New Jersey. So I had to register as a foreign company in the state of New Jersey. And eventually I preferred being in the state of New Jersey because it's a great state. It has great resources, and NJEDA is amazing of what you all do, and great colleagues in the Treasury and everywhere else. So eventually I became New Jersey, and I'm not a foreign company anymore. But you have resources that can navigate, and those intricacies, those difficulties of things. That's why we have experts that some of them are generic in the NJSBDC, but then we have on the capital team. On the capital team, we even are able to close on loans that are $1 million loans and things of that nature. We have the ability to have very simple things answered and very complicated things. And because we take a team approach in this entire state, the new director, Kelly, who has like broadened the ability of how we work in the state of New Jersey and creating this amazing relationships with all the regional directors and everything that happens in the state of New Jersey. It's kind of this team approach that if something cannot be done by someone else will be there to help you. So, and that's why when I started my presentation, I said, NJSBDC is one of the best kept secrets in the state of New Jersey because we're friends with everybody and work with everybody in the state of New Jersey.
And you are absolutely correct. I could not agree more. And as you said, it's a secret, right? So I would like to say in ending this presentation for today that sharing is caring, right? So we all know that we have friends that are business owners. You've received some very, very valuable information this morning. I hope that it has been helpful, and please share it. And we will have the recording available. It'll be on our YouTube page, and also the links will be going out to everyone that registered in the next coming days. So you will get all this information in your inbox, and you can also go to YouTube. And I can't reiterate enough, the Small Business Development Centers are here to give you one-on-one mentorship with everything that you have going on, and they can help you thrive in this state. And I want to thank all of our panelists for being on this morning, and I want to thank everyone that came on with us this morning. Thank you all, and that is the end of our workshop for today.
Good job.
Thank you.